Tekashi 69. The story of Tekashi 69 started in November 2018 when federal agents arrested Daniel Hernandez, better known as Tekashi 69, alongside 5 members of the 9 Trey Gangster Bloods. He joined the crew in 2017 to gain authenticity for his aggressive image, paying them for protection and appearances. But the deal went south. Authorities charged the group under RICO, the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, accusing them of robberies, shootings, and drug trafficking. Tekashi's name surfaced in everything. An April 2018 armed robbery in Manhattan, a June 2018 shooting ordered at Chief Keef, and a March 2018 Barclays Center altercation that derailed a multi-million-dollar deal. The evidence was airtight. There were wiretaps, surveillance footage, even a recorded video of the Manhattan robbery, facing a minimum of 47 years in prison. 669 did what most rappers swear they never would. He flipped. By January 2019, he struck a plea deal, admitting guilt to 9 federal charges, including racketeering and firearms offenses. He agreed to testify against his co-defendants. In return, prosecutors promised leniency. When he took the stand that September, Hernandez became the government's star witness. He calmly detailed the inner workings of 9 Trey, who called the shots, who fired the guns, and who ordered hits. For 3 days, he pointed out names. Kfano, Shotty, Jordan, Anthony, Harv, Ellison, Algeria, Nuke, Mac, Jamal, Mel, Murda, Jones, Kinta, Qdab McKenzie, each of whom would later plead guilty or get convicted. His testimony led to prison terms ranging from 11 to 24 years, effectively dismantling the 9 Trey hierarchy. In December 2019, Tekashi was sentenced to just 2 years, credited for time served, a far cry from the decades he faced. COVID-19 got him in April 2020, citing asthma as a risk factor, but the price of freedom was exiled. Overnight, 6699 became hip-hop's most famous pariah. His name became synonymous with betrayal. Meek Mill, Lil Durk, Future, 50 Cent, and others publicly disowned him. Playlists removed his songs. Even a $200,000 charity donation was rejected because of his reputation. In March 2023, he was jumped inside a Florida LA Fitness, an attack reportedly linked to his testimony. Photos showed him bloodied on the bathroom floor. Tekashi later sued the gym for negligence. To date, there's been no major gang retaliation. Many of 9 Trey's leaders remain locked up, but Hernandez's reputation never recovered. His cooperation helped the feds, but it ended his credibility. In 2025, he still faces public scorn. Yet, he leans into it, calling himself the smartest rat alive. Tekashi Saga redefined the cost of survival in rap. You can save your life, but you'll never save your name. Gunana's situation is quieter, but in today's rap world, quiet doesn't mean clean. He was arrested in May 2022 alongside Young Thug and 26 others under Georgia's sweeping YSL RICO indictment. An unprecedented case alleging that the label Young Stoner Life Records doubled as the gang Young Slime Life, tied to murders, robberies, and drug crimes. Gunana, real name Sergio Kitchens, faced a single count of racketeering conspiracy. Unlike Thug, he wasn't accused of direct violence. But in December 2022, after 7 months in jail, Gunner entered an Alfred plea, a legal mechanism that lets defendants plead guilty while maintaining innocence. The controversy came from the plea hearing itself. When prosecutors, "Do you acknowledge that YSL is a gang?" Gunana said, "Yes, ma'am." That clip leaked. Suddenly, hip-hop labeled him a snitch. But legally, that wasn't the case. Gunna didn't testify, didn't cooperate, and wasn't listed as a state witness. His deal couldn't be used against others. He served his time, walked out, and kept his mouth shut. Even so, the cultural verdict was brutal. Lil Baby, Lil Durk, and others unfollowed him. Thugs leaked jail calls, accused him of weakening the defense. In 2023, Gunana addressed it all in his track Bread and Butter. He WPP'd about the backlash. "Feds did sweep. I kept it silent. Ain't no rat in me." By 2024, even YSL co-founder Mondo admitted Gunana hadn't snitched, telling Hip Hop DX that earlier rumors were overblown. When Young Thug took his own plea deal in late 2024, it included a clause allowing contact with Gunna, suggesting private reconciliation. There's been no physical retaliation, no attacks, just the scarlet letter of suspicion. In the court of law, Gunana walk. In the court of public opinion, he's still on trial. Young Thug. If Gunana's story blurred the lines of loyalty, Young Thug's case tested what snitching even means when the system turns your art into evidence. Born Jeffrey Lamar Williams, Thug was the nucleus of YSL, the creative force prosecutors claimed was a bloodlines criminal enterprise. His May 2022 arrest kicked off a 2-year legal saga that became the longest RICO trial in Georgia's history. Inside courtrooms, prosecutors played his lyrics as confessions. Push and P became pushing pounds. Defense lawyers argued that YSL stood for Young Stoner Life, not Young Slime Life, a label, not a gang. 2024, Thug Cave, he entered a plea deal, guilty to drug and gun charges. No contest to racketeering and gang activity. The sentence, 40 years, with 5 commuted to time served and 15 on probation. He walked out the same day, restricted from Atlanta, and barred from using gang imagery and music. That deal sparked debate. Some fans called it snitching by implication. Others saw it as strategic surrender. After 2 exhausting years, the internet resurfaced an old 2015 police interrogation where Thug appeared to mention his associate Pee Wee Roscoe in a shooting case, prompting accusations that he'd been snitching long before YSL, but both men denied it. Roscoe told Hip Hop DX the clip was misunderstood, clean as Listerine. After release, Thug faced no violence, only commentary. Former YSL member Woody told Hollywood Unlocked he felt genuinely happy for Thug's freedom, adding there was no threat between them. The case ended with Thug back in the studio, though limited by probation. He didn't testify, didn't name names, but the public memory of YSL's collapse means that like Gunana, Thug lives with ambiguity, a symbol of how RICO blurred the line between rapper, boss, and defendant. 50 Cent long before social media made snitching a meme, 50 Cent lived through the real paranoia behind it. The Queen's Born. Mogul's name has been tied to the label Murder Incorporated Supreme McGriff and an infamous song that sparked street-level chaos, Ghetto Quran. Released in 2000, the track listed Real gangsters from Jamaica, Queens, McGriff, Prince, and others describing the hierarchy of the local crack trade. Wasn't testimony, it was music. But in the streets, that didn't matter. Ghetto Quran was seen as dry snitching, putting real people under a federal microscope. Within months, 50 was stabbed at the Hit Factory studio by Murder Inc. affiliates, then shot 9 times outside his grandmother's home. The shooter was allegedly linked to McGriff's crew when federal agents lat. 31st, 2024, Thug Cave, he entered a plea deal, guilty to drug and gun charges. No contest to racketeering and gang activity. The sentence, 40 years, with 5 commuted to time served and 15 on probation. He walked out the same day, restricted from Atlanta, and barred from using gang imagery and music. That deal sparked debate. Some fans called it snitching by implication. Others saw it as strategic surrender. After 2 exhausting years, the internet resurfaced an old 2015 police interrogation where Thug appeared to mention his associate Pee Wee Roscoe in a shooting case, prompting accusations that he'd been snitching long before YSL, but both men denied it. Roscoe told Hip Hop DX the clip was misunderstood, clean as Listerine. After release, Thug faced no violence, only commentary. Former YSL member Woody told Hollywood Unlocked he felt genuinely happy for Thug's freedom, adding there was no threat between them. The case ended with Thug back in the studio, though limited by probation. He didn't testify, didn't name names, but the public memory of YSL's collapse means that like Gunana, Thug lives with ambiguity, a symbol of how RICO blurred the line between rapper, boss, and defendant. 50 Cent long before social media made snitching a meme, 50 Cent lived through the real paranoia behind it. The Queen's Born. In the decades since, 50 has turned the insult into fuel. Whenever someone questions him, he points to his scars, his empire, Gunnet, power, and BMF. Stands as a testament to a man who was attacked, not protected. 50's case shows how blurred the lines are. Speak too truthfully about the streets, and you'll be accused of snitching on them. Beastie. In October 2007, federal agents arrested T.I. for attempting to buy 3 machine guns and 2 silencers through his bodyguard, who had flipped and was now a federal informant. T.I., already a convicted felon, faced up to 10 years per count. He took a plea deal, 1 year and 1 day in prison, plus community service. that Snoop had been working with the police. A claim repeated in interviews for years. The rumor took root again in 2019 when 6ID99 during his internet feud spree accused Snoop of being a government informant. He shared supposed FBI paperwork online claiming Snoop helped law enforcement target death row figures. The paperwork was immediately debunked. It wasn't real and Snoop never cooperated in any federal case. Back in 1993, Snoop actually fought his own murder charge after the fatal shooting of Philip Walder Merriam, a rival gang member. The case, People Browse, became a media circus. Prosecutors claimed Snoop's bodyguard, McKinley Lee, fired the gun while Snoop drove the vehicle. Both men were acquitted in 1996 after the jury accepted their claim of self-defense. In short, Snoop wasn't testifying, he was testified against. Suge Knight reignited the rumor in a 2019 jailhouse interview, saying, "You can't be a gangster and a rat at the same time." But the accusation lacked documentation, and even LAPD detectives from the original death row investigations confirmed Snoop was never a cooperating witness. In fact, during the Tupac and Biggie homicide probe, Snoop refused to give full statements, frustrating investigators who believed he knew more. If anything, that's the opposite of cooperation. Snoop's resilience from Doggy Style to No Limit to Death Row Records 2.0 shows how empty those rumors really were. He's faced real indictments, survived real wars, and walked away clean. Lil Cease. When Lil Cease took the stand in 2005, the courtroom called it justice, the rap world called it betrayal. A former junior MFIA member and protege of the notorious B.I., Lil C.E. found himself subpoenaed to testify at the perjury trial of Lil Kim, who'd been accused of lying to a federal grand jury about her crew's involvement in a 2001 shootout outside Hot 97 in Manhattan. During the Ahey trial, prosecutors played security footage showing Kim at the scene alongside. Cease explained his side in multiple interviews, notably with MTV News and Angie Martinez, insisting he didn't cooperate voluntarily. "If I didn't show up, I would have been locked up. I had no choice." Over time, public perception softened. Even Kim later admitted that the government had the evidence with or without him. Sue's testimony just confirmed it. But in hip-hop's moral code, being seen on the stand against a friend is unforgivable no matter the context. 2 decades later, C.E. performs occasionally at Biggie tribute events. Still loyal to his mentor's legacy, his case remains a reminder. In the street code, truth in court can sound a lot like treason in the booth. Fat Joe. Fat Joe's story shows how an unverified rumor can become truth in rap folklore, even when no paperwork exists. For years, underground forums accused the Bronx legend of being a federal informant, pointing to a 2011 hacked email leak that claimed Fat Joe was cooperating with law enforcement. The allegations surfaced from a website known for fabricating rap gossip, not from official records. Still, the claim stuck, especially after 6ix9ine resurrected it in 2020 during a feud, saying, "Fat Joe been working with them people." Joe immediately fired back. His real police involvement came decades earlier as a witness, not an informant. During the 1990s South Bronx gang investigations, when law enforcement subpoenaed local rappers to identify suspects in street murders, Joe refused to name names, earning him credibility, not suspicion. In 2012, when hackers republished those fake FBI documents, Joe's attorney, Don Florio, dismissed them as forgeries. To this day, no federal database lists Joe as a cooperating witness, and no conviction ever cites his testimony. What made the rumor believable, ironically, was Joe's longevity. He survived the Terror Squad era, violent street rivalries, and industry shakeups that destroyed peers without ever catching a major case. To cynics, that seemed too